to please. But the way you working in a haste, in such a haste, that might be the case. Oh Lord, take your time, Mister, I'm old-fashioned. Take your time, all the cook does always done. Take your time, so you better take warning. Take your time, me and leaving till morning. Oh no.
Sound of King Wellington there. I knew you didn't expect that one, but that's how it goes. She always surprises you pleasantly. Well, I'm going to pack it up and put it away. Tamika is in here. I was expecting her 10:15 arrival, but she here. That means she would have done everything to be here with you and on time. So in the meantime and in between time, well, I'm going to leave you with the sound of, oh, it's God.
All the time, God is great.
God is great.
All the time, God is great. To the youth who feel crime is the answer, love is the reason why you came. To kill them is becoming a monster, whose soul is now darkened with blood stains. Turn back from the hands of evil, don't give in to the devil. Try and understand the joy of life, for he who knows all knows your secret, and is in time he will reveal it. For every deed there is a price. Learn to live this life and live it nice, so nice. Whatever the situation, just a temporary state. God is great all the time God is great. Joy will meet you at your doorstep, just sing along as you wait. God is great all the time God is great. Nothing is impossible as long as you have the faith. God is great all the time God is great. Let love be the light you carry, remember it's not too late. God is great all the time God is great. God is great all the time God is great. A little louder. God is great all the time. A little harder. God is great. Some people hate the life they live in. Happiness only comes through dreams. Illusion seems to have them breathing, not knowing what true happiness means. Poverty carries a spirit, think positive and believe it. Surely it's the way to overcome. Every man has the will and power. It is a gift from the Creator, from the very day that He was born, giving us the strength to carry on and on and on. Whatever the situation, just a temporary state. God is great all the time God is great. Joy will meet you at your doorstep, just sing along as you wait. God is great all the time God is great. Nothing is impossible what you make of it. But its beauty is beyond our imagination. True love is recognizing that we are all God's creation. Some leaders slipping into darkness.
Good morning,
What is
Trinidad
all
and
they
Tobago.
thinking now?
Welcome and Dependency right here,
It is a token of their weakness.
live on the Independence Facebook page and
Trying to
YouTube
get
channel.
others involved. Disasters strike the planet, plagues are falling upon it, disease is spreading throughout this world. Yet mankind refuse to be conscious, knowing this life in total chaos.
In studio this morning with us, we are so privileged this morning. As you all know, this is unprecedented, where we have members of the military sit on any radio program in Trinidad and Tobago. You know the channels this have to go through, and we would like to thank the Chief of Defense Staff, Air Vice Marshal Darrell Daniel, Colonel Keston Charles, for allowing this privilege this morning, allowing this opportunity for you to hear what a comeback story is all about. This is it here, right here. If there was ever one, we have in studio with us Captain Dillon and Corporal Peters, Corporal Tammeshar Peters. Now, why do we have them in studio here this morning? Well, we just celebrated independence, and some photographer decided to capture Corporal Peters escorting the parade, as part of the parade, escort the parade route in ceremonial way, as she's a member of the regimental police staff. Shema Wilson posted it, and it took off from there. As we say here, it went viral. So much so that the newspapers started reaching out to get to hear more about this Tammeshar Peters. Who is this young lady who went through so much in her life from since she was born, and overcome all those adversities that she faced, herself and her siblings, to being now a full corporal in the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment? This is why they're here this morning, and we thank them for the opportunity. And this is to help those of you out there who continue to say and continue to cry that there's nothing here for you when there is. And Corporal Peters will take us through that this morning. Captain Dillon, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning, God. Good morning, Natasha. Good morning to the listening public and viewing public of Trinidad and Tobago and your followers worldwide, I should say. It's a pleasure for us to be here. And I hope you guys take some inspiration from Corporal Peters' story. And I know she might be a little shy, right? But listen and understand where she has come from and what she has achieved. And maybe this will inspire you to also pull yourself from your bootstraps, so to speak.
Yes, indeed. And they didn't just come here this morning and they're dressed in kit and work. They come to work this morning. So we appreciate that very much, and we thank them. Corporal Peters, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm good. Pretty hour.
And she said, you know,
morning,
it's you know, the term soft-spoken and regimental police don't really go hand in
Hand in
hand.
hand, correct.
She has the ability to switch gears, I'm sure.
Yes.
But this morning she's very soft-spoken, but she's here with us in studio. We got the permission to have them here with us, and we are grateful.
Indeed. And every time, I mean, throughout the history of our Dependency, every time we have soldiers on the program is always a bumper one, and especially when we have women soldiers on the program. So we expect to have, you know, a really engaging and informative program this morning, because people are, our audience really does, through God's experience, really does appreciate the work that the military does. So it'll be very interesting to hear your journey
Yes.
as a woman coming up through the military. So
Yes,
looking forward
and
to it.
yes, indeed. Yesterday, and say good morning to Fleet Larry Furry, who and his colleagues are eagerly waiting for your program this morning. Also, Gilbert Modest, Barbell as we know him.
Barbell.
Good morning to you, Sir Major, as he's fondly called. And Captain Dillon, Natasha and I had a discussion yesterday about your first name. And I said, it's Captain. No, she didn't understand why I said the first name is Captain. So, Captain Dillon, thank you once again for your time this morning. Tammeshar, so let's start the journey. All right? Again, to inspire those out there who feel their life is so hard. Please tell us about your background. What was it like growing up on the Beetham? Was it difficult?
Yeah, it was difficult. It was hard, and then to say it wasn't hard because the people on the Beetham, they helped me a lot. Yeah, they reach out to me a lot.
Now, the Beetham is a family, right?
Yes.
Despite what we think about this, because I'm having worked at CCC, I was close proximity to
My apartment. And my mommy was drugs. She was a drugs person. She and my stepfather was drugs. And she used to put us, we had one bed, and she used to put us on the ground to sleep. And she, boyfriend and...
So while they slept on the bed, you all were sleeping on the
Yeah.
floor?
And we used to take off the clothes that we have, that people give us, to sleep on the ground. She used to say she don't want nobody on her bed.
So you the eldest of the crew, or
No, I'm the sixth.
the
Out
sixth?
of 8, yeah, 6.
Okay.
Child.
So how did you then, the 8 of you, how did you all take care of yourselves? Who did you rely on for that kind of, sustenance?
My sister, she was 13 years and she had to step up. She was the eldest, so she had to step up and operate like the mother.
So how did she? Of course, she wasn't working.
She wasn't working.
So how did you all sustain yourself?
And then she stepped up. She was going to school as well.
She was going to school.
Yeah.
So the neighbors actually had to take care of you all then.
Well, the neighbors, they reach out to us, but all the time people gather kind of like have things every day to give us. So that is how I end up reaching out to CCC all the time, because we are living close to CCC. Sometimes when we had nothing to eat, but sometimes if I go out the road, sometimes I'll take up myself, go out the road, because my sister can't do it alone. So I used to go out the road, and I didn't know no shoes, nothing. So I used to walk the Beetham barefoot. So I used to go out the road and look for things like help somebody clean up their yard, to pay my $20. Or sometimes when I come back with the 20, sometimes when I come back, my mother might be there, I might give she the money, and she wouldn't make anything for us to eat. At that time, $20 was doing a lot, and she wouldn't make anything for us to eat. So I decided to continue just walking around.
What type of drugs your mom used?
What kind of what?
Drugs.
Cocaine, and she used to smoke with cocaine and weed.
So black cigarette was really,
Black.
yeah. And I could
she
tell.
would use in front of you guys as well?
No, they used to just come home when they didn't get what they want. They used to come home and beat us, hit us in our head, beat us.
Now, understanding the power of black, because I was, a victim of that, so I know how terrible being hooked on black could be.
Yeah.
And nothing else matters. Nothing else matters when that happens. Did you experience that with her, that nothing else mattered but getting...
Yeah, I experienced that with her.
And your stepfather was the same thing?
Yeah, he used to beat us real bad, advantage us. At one time, he put us in a toilet, they clean out our toilet and put we in it and lock the door and feed us with water and cricks.
What?
Yeah. Through a hole.
Through a hole?
Yeah.
All 8 of you?
8 of us, yeah.
Put you all in a toilet?
Yeah.
And for the entire day?
Yeah, not day, like days. We was there for, like weeks. And when people They say if we answer, he will open up in the morning and tell me if we hear anybody calling us to answer. Like people used to ask for the neighbor, used to ask, find me was quiet. So they used to ask, and my mother would call the neighbors. She said we making her shame, like going around asking for things to eat. So I used to ask her, so how we will eat if you're not feeding us? Sometimes she will cook, and she said we had to wait until she husband come home. She man at that time come home for we to eat.
So you were sitting there waiting for food?
And sometimes he come after 12 in the night. We done sleeping.
So and after she feed him, or after he eats, then you all get... After she fed him, don't worry, we got you. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Our Dependency, and we are speaking with Corporal Tammeshar Peters. You would have seen her in the newspaper articles where she was interviewed, and we decided that, we too wanted to highlight this story, because reading about a story and hearing it is two different things. And so please bear with us, bear with her as, going through this. I know this is one of the things that the force wanted to protect her from, reliving this journey. But from experience, Corporal, I've told my story maybe 1,000 times now. And before, when I just started, I would break down too as well. Yeah. So I understand. But don't worry, we got you, all right? We just want other people out there to understand that when you think your life is bad, listen to this. So you all were locked in this room and waiting to be fed.
Yeah.
And so what time that would happen then? If he comes home after 12, you were sleeping, so you had to wait till the next day.
And sometimes the food was stale.
Sometimes the food was
stale till we get food poisoning already.
The next day.
Yeah. No, like next 2 days we'll eat the food. It will still be on the stove because she never had no fridge. So we hot up like curry, we hot it up and eat it.
The worst thing.
Yeah. At that time we didn't know that was...
Yeah.
No choice.
Yeah, curry like Maxwell Licata, don't play. Yeah, don't play with curry. Once curry go into the next day, that is it, I done, because I had experience with that. And you all had to ingest that because it's sustenance you're looking for, right?
Yeah. So she said get vexed at me because how I used to walk and go and get things to eat. So that is why they put me there.
How did you meet Shema?
Well, walking the road. I meet my Shema. She said, why you always walking barefoot? Where's the slippers? I said, well, none. She said, why you looking so what happened to Jersey? She said, come on. Tell she I didn't eat for the day and she gave me food. She always feed me once I walk up on that side.
Mm-hmm.
And this experience, this life that you experienced with your siblings, did that make you closer, draw you together? Did you all sort of, get strength from each other?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, sometimes when we get licks, because I used to make up my mind to get licks. Because I know once I go outside to go and beg anybody for food, I know it's myself I want to beat me. Because he used to beat me real bad. But I still have marks on my back. Because he used to make sure that he cut me with the licks, he used to beat with a cable. Sometimes he plan as we. Yeah. At one time they call the police and we had us to be like normal. They call, because my mother used to collect public assistance for us. And it was $75 a person at that time. And she'll buy things, she'll buy grocery, but we can't touch it until she makes something for she husband to eat.
Wow. Did you have any other family, like aunts, cousins, that you all interacted with at all?
Yeah, when we tried to interact with them, my mother used to cuss them. So they used to stay far. She used to tell them mind the business. What she do with children, she do with them.
Wow. And were you all going to school or no?
Yeah.
Everybody was
going to school. Yeah.
Not regularly, I would assume.
No, sometimes. The principal used to have to feed us. She understand what's going on and she used to just say send us, but sometimes we go to have slippers. The principal used to give us uniform.
And what school was this? If you don't
Lavante Girls Government School.
You remember this principal name? God bless her.
Miss Griffith, but she passed away now.
Okay. Miss Griffith's family, thank you very much for looking out for this young lady and her siblings. Now, you said you remember a lot of times going to the Civilian Conservation Corps compound located right there on the beach. I'm asking the soldiers working there for assistance with food, and they're always willing to help. How did you manage to work up that courage to do that?
Well, I used to see a woman named Miss Daniel, well, she was a private at that time, and
Esther Daniel.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, no, not Esther.
Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie
Sorry,
Daniel.
yes, Anne-Marie.
Yeah, she is Marie Daniel.
Things like that.
Yeah, she used to talk to me, but my mother used to cuss everybody, so they used to like still be careful, and I used to go over. She used to tell me I could come over, and when I go over there, I used to tell her we need not, me and my sisters and them need nothing, and they used to give me a big bowl with food. We used to carry it home, and all that we would eat, and I used to drop back the bowl. It was like a routine. Breakfast in the morning, I used to go for dinner, everything. It was a routine.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. Thank you very much. She was
And she
always...
used to always say that, she will make a good soldier one day,
She's still that.
Yeah. And everybody used to agree with her. Like, yeah, she will make a good soldier. She brave.
This is the part of the military people don't know. They don't understand, right? But you were welcomed with open arms and they took care of you.
Yeah, it was a love.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are speaking with Corporal Tammeshar Peters. Accompanying her this morning is Captain Dillon, here in studio with us. And the reason why this corporal is here this morning is to speak to you all out there about your life, or speak into your life, letting you know that nothing is impossible. And when you think you have it bad, there's somebody out there have it worse than you, and they somehow survived. This is the moral of the story here this morning that we're trying to create. Now, as you said, there was a lady by the name of Joan Forbes. What role did she play in your life?
Well, she was a later down to the end, but it have other people that take role before her.
Mm-hmm.
So it had Richard Francois and his girlfriend. They used to sell CDs. So I used to go by them and charge his batteries for him, and he will buy clothes for me. They will feed me. Yeah. So that was the work I used to do with Richard Francois. And Vanessa, she used to take care of me too. One time. That is a family house.
Right. When you were growing up, did you have any dreams or ambitions? What was your desire to get out of the situation that you were in? Did you aspire to? Did you see anybody in your community that you wanted to be like, or what did you dream about?
At that time, I wasn't dreaming of anything. I just wanted to get out of the situation, but I was still stuck there, so I wasn't dreaming. I was still a child.
Was it at the point at which you engaged with the people at CCCA, the soldiers there, that you thought, did you ever think that being that soldiering was something in your future?
No, I never think about it.
No.
Yeah, because I've done hard already. You wanted I've done hard already. You go to put yourself through that training. Nothing happens. But nobody never, sometimes you see a child and you ask them, what would you like to be when you grow up? Nobody ever asks you that.
Anybody asks us anything, my mother used to get vexed. Or if she hear that we was outside, Mr. Father used to beat me. That's how to make up your mind to get licks. Sometimes we ain't do nothing and we getting licks. That's how it used to be. I did fear them real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me and my sisters. At one time, he stabbed me over my eye. I still had the cut over my eye right there.
He stabbed you?
Yeah,
for
with a
what?
knife. My mother had an old watch and I put it in my hand and he get vexed for that. And when my sister said, leave she sister alone, he stabbed she by he take a knife and slit by she throat. She still had the cut there.
And all of this you all going through, and did you feel like this was never going to change, or did it feel that you were doomed to this life for the rest of your life?
Yeah, well, it was so long, it happening all the time, so no, I didn't think it would ever change. I think we'd have been on, because it was, remember, it's from the start, so my life had been hard.
I know, guys, you often talk about when you do your lectures and you speak to young people, he asks them a question. How many of you, when you reach 18, you're planning to leave this house and try and make it out on your own? Were you one of those?
No, I didn't.
You weren't planning to?
When my sisters and them leave, and I realized that it was me alone, I say, and Mr. Father still beating me while I was 16. So when Joanne take me in and take care of me.
Folks, let's take a quick break. Ms. Peters, Corporal Peters, a chance to take a sip of water and so on and calm ourselves down, because we know it is not easy retelling this. We know it's not easy reliving this, but every life is a biography. And sometimes people's testimony can help you where you are at present. We hope it's doing that so far. After this break, we'll continue the journey. Captain Dillon, Corporal Peters, Trinidad and Tobago Regiment on Dependency. We'll be back.
A terrible time in our history. The kidnapping, buying and selling of people for profit, the exploitation of another human being. It still exists today. It has a new name: human trafficking. Anyone can be a victim. There is forced labor, sexual exploitation, and domestic servitude. Human trafficking is a worldwide problem and an emerging concern for us here in Trinidad and Tobago. If you know of or suspect human trafficking activity, call the counter-trafficking hotline at 800-4CTU or 800-4288. Human trafficking is a crime. Identify it, report it, stop it. A message from the counter-trafficking unit of the Ministry of National Security.
Hello. Hi, this is Patricia Kent from HMP London. Can I speak to Miss Sheila, please?
This is Miss Sheila.
Hi, I've got an important call for you. Please hold the line.
Mommy, it's Sherry.
Oh, God, Sherry, we looking for you all the time. 3 weeks now. Where you going?
Mommy, according to tell you, I get locked up. I had drugs in my luggage and I'm in England right now. In jail.
Oh, God, Sherry, what? What you do? How you reach there? Oh, God, how we gonna do?
Oh, God, Mommy, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It'll be all right. Sorry, I'm sorry.
On Dependency, reality radio at its best every Sunday on 95.5 FM. Don't miss it.
Do you want to support our work at on Dependency? Here are 3.
Yes, so thank you very much for staying with us, and we hope you are inspired so far by what you're hearing. We have, for those of you just joining us, we are in studio with Captain Dillon and Corporal Tammeshar Peters. Some of you would have seen her story on the newspaper, and she's here live in studio with us this morning to actually tell you about it, because reading it and hearing it, two different things. Orphe was telling us, you didn't have any clothes, which your mother never even... You see, Tamika was just asking me about drugs and what they can do. And if I think that's, and I'm going to tell you all again, there are people who will take up themselves and leave a good marriage and go out on the street and stay there just to be with crack cocaine. Just to be with it. They will leave a house, good house with galvanized and paint and furniture and everything, and go and sleep on the street because we want time to be with this drug. So it's worse for our mother. It's worse. And this is what Tamisha had to be part of. You were telling us about the clothes situation.
Yeah, I don't know about new clothes, and we always have to wear what people give us. But they used to wear, we had to wait until they don't wear it, and then we will get clothes. Sometimes we wear back the same thing for some days. Me and my siblings.
And when your older siblings, got older and left, what was the reaction of those who were left behind?
Well, the ones of them that left, they used to come back down the road and say, well, Corporal, my mother had to stop treat us like that. But my mother never paid no mind, no. She loved that man at all. She loved him more than us.
You think he was the one who introduced her to crack cocaine? He might have been.
No, she used to smoke before, but she had come off, and then when she meet him, she come back on again. So it's like a on and off.
No, that time didn't have children authority and all of these things that could have intervened, right?
No, they had the people from public assistance. We could stop the money if they didn't see us. So she used to make sure that we looking good at it for them to see us when they say they come in.
So they used to let her know they come in?
Yeah, they used to let her know during the week. So she used to keep us clean for the whole week.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get the money. Otherwise they will stop it.
And they had no clue that she was on drugs?
No clue. None.
Or that you all were, suffering physical and psychological abuse.
Blood, yeah. Blood, man used to make sure that blood come off on our skin. He used to want to see, I don't know if he used to, because my hand and all that's marked still.
So they used to cover you all up properly and...
Yeah, he used to be decent.
So at least you used to get a bath before they come?
Yeah, he used to be there, just to make sure that we bathe. Stuff.
Yeah, that's how manipulative and full of tricks and how they can be. And how long would they stay? They would just come and chat, they would look around?
They will talk to her, they will peep in. She said we clean up the place when they come to as well. They will peep in, they will say, oh, you all good? And you say, yeah. You shake your head and they will talk to she outside. And at one time I think they did stop it, because people was complaining. They said I was getting complaint.
Right.
And she said, we is the cause of it.
So she took it out on you all
again? Yeah, well, the mister. She never used to do the hitting. He used to do the hitting. She used to stand up and watch us. And say that good.
How did that make you feel towards her? I mean, it's your mother, yes, but how did that make you feel?
I used to feel like if I get torture my body. Torture. I used to dislike the things that she allowed. How you could do that to your children. She said she wish she didn't make we be so ungrateful. But she wasn't doing anything for us. Just children. What we could do.
Yeah.
So I used to tell you, what we do here? And she said, see, I watching her all the time. I used to come like the last China, so I go out there with her. She just used to see I watching her all the time in she face.
But did it ever occur to you that one day I'm going to make it? Did that ever come into your mind that you will get over this part of your life or that part of your life?
No. I just used to just keep praying and ask God to take me out of it. But it just used to still be there because remember, his years are trying to be getting big. Remember, it will take time because it's happening since I was about 5, 6. So remember, it's years. That would take your time. So I wasn't studying all of that.
Who taught you to pray?
Well, I used to go by the neighbor and them used to play like little prayer and they tell we must pray. And in school, when we go to school, when we get time to go to school, yeah, I used to pray. They used to pray a lot for us. Principal used to bring me in she office and, you know, she tell us how to pray. She give us a little prayer book. I used to go and pray. Myself, I used to say, you don't want to pray in here. He used to say them things.
What?
He don't want nobody pray in here.
He don't want nobody pray?
Because she saying like, my mother was saying like, we wishing them bad. So they used to put us on a grater and along with 2 big stones. You know the grater, the long time grater with the wood outside? And we used to put 2 big stones in my hand to keep up. Like if I go outside.
That was a medieval punishment that old people used back in the day. You experienced that?
Yeah.
The grater with the big stone?
Yeah. The big stone holding, yeah, the big stone.
Captain, you know that story, old as the hills, right? What?
Yeah.
I think it's incredulous. I don't think people could really wrap their minds around a situation as horrific as this, with so many children in a home being subjected to this kind of abuse, and nobody is intervening to get the children out of that situation. I think it's very hard for people to comprehend based on the comments that we're getting from Facebook. And I mean, there were interventions, of course, you know, a principal and the people from CCC and stuff, but your neighbors. But in terms of a solution, because I mean, yes, you could help the children, give them food to eat, give them clothes, and teach them to pray and help them along. But at the end of the day, they're going back to this home. So I think your story, Tammeshar, is very it's hard for people to believe that you and your siblings would have endured that, and without any intervention to save you, because again, you're children, and you know, we're supposed to be protective of children, you know, wherever they are. How do you or how have you and your siblings been able to interact with each other and with your mother, especially now that you're grown and you have children of your own and you have your own life? What are your sentiments towards your mother and your stepfather now?
Well, I'll actually say something, right? I know I reached the part yet, but when I joined the regiment, they sent me counseling to help me overcome. The regiment paid for me to go counseling by dollar and dolly around the savannah. Yeah.
And that was helpful.
Huh?
That was helpful.
Yeah, that's helped me a lot.
Yes, we'll have the captain elaborate on that a little bit later on. But I want to go back to one of your biggest fans, Shuma Wilson. Shuma posted this thing on Facebook with you, with the troops on Independence Day. Like I said, it went viral. Shuma loves you dearly.
I love my Shuma too.
Yes. How did that? I mean, you know, I know you spoke a little bit about it, but Shuma, we know Shuma because I could tell you when I was at CCC, I decided that I was going to walk all the phases and recruit people for CCC because for some reason they weren't coming. So we did that. Anderson was one of them who survived that. He's now a soldier. But when I didn't get much of support, but Shuma, I asked Shuma and Martha. Martha was I don't know if she's a Muslim lady.
Yeah.
And they walk the phases with me and have people take CCC forms and sign it up. So I know Shuma's heart is in the right place. How do you feel about her?
I love that woman, Pat. She advised me. She said, you know, she and all taught me about prayers, you know, about praying. Yeah, when I go inside, I love her food. I still want to eat it.
She has sweet hand?
Yeah, she food was the best outside there. I used to walk the road for that up the road.
So you on phase what and what phase was she in?
I was on phase 1, like pension quarters down by CCC side.
Right.
And she was up in phase 3.
Okay, so
yes,
you had to
a
walk.
good pull. Yes,
wow, that's a good pull.
Yeah. I wanted her food. Her food nice, so I had enough. And she said, full my belly. Yeah.
Never forget her.
Never. I love my Shima. All.
Yes. I mean, so you decided one day that you're going to finally, go to try out the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. What inspired you to do that? Or who inspired you?
One Danielle. She's the person who inspired me.
Mm-hmm.
She said she would make a good soldier, And everybody was like, yeah. She looked brave. And I was like, I'm not seeing that. I was like, what I'm seeing, I'm not seeing it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still young, so I say, nah, I'm not seeing that. I'm looking hard to be a soldier. Nah. And they said that, so I said, all right. One day I say, I hear the regiment taking in, and I went and tried. And my number was called. So I joined. But the regiment, it was hard in training.
Tell us about the first day, the first time. So you went, you did the exam and everything.
Yeah.
Now, this is even the more remarkable part that, even though the schooling wasn't tight and the journey was, through school wasn't as what you expected, you still managed to get that out of the way and you were recruited.
Yes.
How did that feel when you got the news?
Well, it have but he live as a warrant, Warren Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
He do well before the recruiting stage. They just do a not before the recruiting stage, but they just do an investigation. And when he investigate on me, when they run an investigation, he say, "Wow, this woman grew up very, very hard, very, very hard." Say and when he see me, he say, "Good, she make it." He was like, "You're shocked."
So some of the instructors, what was your first day like? Because of course you went Tetron. What was that? Tell us that experience, because we want to let people know too that it don't come easy.
No.
Success don't come easy. You have to work for it. So I don't want to really feel that you just walk through training.
No.
And, tell us about that. Who was your section commander?
I had Marlon Reed. I had Vanessa, she was an instructor down there. I have Alfonso.
Young Alfonso?
No, the Fun Rose, sorry, Fun Rose.
Fun Rose, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Fun Rose, Oliveri. They used to push me. Ramdul. Yeah. They was real.
Did you have any idea when you signed up and you realized, okay, I'm in? You had any idea of what you were in for? Did anybody tell you what to expect? Or give you a hint as to?
No, only when I went in. Only when I reached in the first day, I realized this is pain.
So home started to look better then, right? At any point
I wanted to come back home. I mean, really, I asked to come back. Yeah, I started to give up. I said, when I study, I said, nah.
Can't deal with this.
I said, to go back there? No, I can't do it. And then my instructor, Dick, she used to come in the morning and say, we're giving up for, keep your head up high. She said, this is how it is. Tough love. She used to tell me, tough love. She said, keep your head up high. Keep pushing. She used to talk to me. Yeah, she don't leave this training, don't give up. Yeah, she could cry, but don't give up. And I always keep that in my head. Giving up, I will never give up.
Yeah, because I mean, after surviving your mom, who, by the way, is she still alive?
She passed away in 2022.
Was she able to see you pass out?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that.
She didn't come the training. No, she didn't come.
She didn't come?
No, my sister come. My big sister and my aunt.
So when you told her you were going to join the regiment?
Yes, I told her.
What did she tell you?
She didn't say anything. She just go quiet. She didn't say anything.
Why do you think that is?
Because to my understanding, like she want me to stay there still.
And what about his stepfather? How did he respond?
Well, I didn't really speak to him. No, say anything to him.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are speaking with Corporal Tammeshar Peters, Regimental Provost Corporal in the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment, and alongside her sitting this morning, accompanying is Captain Dillon. And we are really pleased to have them in studio. Like I said, some of you would have seen Corporal Peters' story in the newspaper. Well, she's telling it to you this morning, just so that you can understand that life is never meant to be easy for some of us, but you can overcome your challenges. And she's telling you this morning, how she overcame those challenges, even a recruit training. And you train, how long do you train for? How long?
4 months.
And you find it, when did you reach over that threshold to say, well, yes, I'm inside?
I say, thank you, Jesus, because I swear this wasn't going to finish neither. I said, oh, that 4 months feel like a year.
But it's tough on you.
It was really tough. The army's not no Bella Roses, you know. I mean, the training, I don't know why people feel the training easy. Training not easy.
Right.
You have to have mind and you have to be strong.
Yeah, because I mean, it's the military, you know. It's not the Salvation Army we're talking about here, you know. We talking about the military. So it's not, and nothing in the military is supposed to be easy, you know. But you showed them, and were they proud of you?
Real proud, really proud. I get most improved. Yeah, I get most improved. I get best female boxer. It's a box.
It's a box?
Yeah, boxing training. Teach you a lot. Yeah, me has really, I don't know how to say it again, but I reached far because if I wasn't in this uniform, I would not reach this far.
But what about your mom? When she came to passing out?
No, she never came.
Never?
Never come.
Not one time?
Not one day.
How do you feel like about that?
I used to say she was heartless because I didn't expect the best from her though. Yeah, because if you could stand up and watch your boyfriend beat us mercilessly, we almost cap out, watching we faint, watching us hungry there and seeing it good. Put we in a toilet, lock up for days and then feed us. I just used to like think like she don't like us, so I didn't really have any hope in her.
Captain Dillon, sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just going to say, even though she wasn't there, that passing out parade must have been a very proud day for you personally.
Yeah.
How did it feel to know that you survived that that pain that you just mentioned?
I sit down after passing out, you know, you go organize yourself to go and get ready to leave the camp, and I was like, God, boy, I really make it? I just sold it. I was like, what? Really? This camo? I said, really? And that time when they're passing out again money, one time I was like, woo, I'm checking my money.
This was a new life, a new world has opened up to you.
That was the best thing ever. Telling you. That was the best thing ever.
You know, before we move on, Captain Dillon, I know you would have seen a lot of this happen with soldiers joining the work and people, you know, as you know, as management in the regiment. How does it feel when you see things like this happen?
Now, granted, I think I've known Corporal Peters almost for the past 10 years in regiment headquarters.
Right.
Right. And as a regimental police, they're the first people we see coming into the camp.
Right.
And I've seen this young lady, like I say, almost every day for the past almost 10 years, and I never knew her story. So one of my corporals in my department would have interviewed her before the article came out. And when he sent me the voice note, it was almost a 40-minute voice note that I listened to. And I was in shock. I had to listen to this thing like 4 times. And ask myself, is this the same person I see by the gate when I come in the camp? Always pleasant, always smiling. You would never think that she went through this ordeal based on talking to her, knowing her personality, how she conducts herself, and that kind of thing. I was shocked. And it's somebody who has talked to on a regular basis. Because like I say, they're the first people we see when we communicate.
Right.
And it's an amazing story. And like we alluded to earlier, there's a lot of people walking around with the same experiences that you would never know about. You understand? And I was amazed and shocked at the same time. Because I had to call in and I interviewed her again because I wanted to understand if this story was really true. You understand? And I think we sat in my office for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Going through the entire story. Some of which we probably can't even speak about on the radio.
Understood.
You understand? But yeah, I was very, very taken aback based on the individual who I see on a daily basis.
Right.
You understand? So.
But Captain, do you think what about the military environment makes it a good place for somebody like Tammeshar and what she has gone through?
Well, the military in itself, based on the nature of the organization, it's a very close-knit family. People who you call batch as military people would know is something that you don't take lightly. Like somebody who you would literally take a bullet for, in both the literal and figurative sense, so to speak. Right? And the environment lends itself to that camaraderie, that togetherness, and basically, like what you would explain in training, the adversity that you go through together in training brings you that much closer.
Yeah.
You understand? So that's why the environment lends to persons who would have had similar traumatic backgrounds. They find a family unit with over 3,000 people. And if you look at the wider defense force, over how much ever the number is these days, but they're close to 3,000 people.
Now, and Corporal Peters should have been a bitter person.
Yes.
Very bitter. Yes. You should one hate men, and you could have easily joined a gang if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you didn't want to do that. What stopped you? I mean, like there are people out there who, the government is doing nothing for young people, and they are nothing for us, and the complaints are endless. But you saw a way out, and instead of going left, you decide, no, you're not doing that. Why? What stopped you from doing that?
I believe it's your mind, it's your mind. Wherever you put in your mind, that is where you will live with. So if you say like, in my mind, I say going back to the situation, why is that training? I say going back to the situation or stay here or I don't know what to do. I started to tell myself that when I be in, I say, but the training was so hard, so I say, this thing, all I thinking, I say it must done. In my mindset, it must done. When months pass, I say nah. 2 months pass, 3 months pass, it didn't finish. I say nah. But my mindset to people is never give up. And if you know you're focusing on, I had to drink, you don't like water, but you know you have to drink this bottle, bit by bit. The water must finish. So what I would say to people out there is don't give up. No matter how hard it is, keep going. Because if I didn't give up, I'll never be wearing this uniform today. And keep prayer up. Always keep God first. Anything else after.
You have this studio in a different mood this morning. Honestly, you have this studio in a different mood. You have all of us, and I'm really proud. I'm really proud, and you know that no matter what, I will always endorse the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. Always. I love you all dearly, and anytime I know that this force can save a life, I shout from the mountaintops because I know the benefit of a military training. It's what helped me. There's nobody, I challenge anybody out there to show me differently, because when I was on the street, it's my military training that helped me. When I was in prison, same thing. So I know how valuable military training is. And I'm happy that you and the captain once again endorsing that here. Would you encourage people to join the regiment?
Yes, full 100 and more. Yeah. Yes, I will encourage them.
And you're not bitter. What about your other siblings? How are they doing?
Well, some are still bitter, some still cry. But I just help them, like, be there for them. Some of them not strong like I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You see, if it wasn't for the training, I don't feel like I'd be so strong. Yeah, if it wasn't for the training. The training, my mind, it changed me up a lot. Because I was real bitter.
I have many years of hearing about the benefits of the military through my husband, my brother, who retired as a warrant as well. And when I was coming up too, I saw my brother and his kids, and I said, well, that's something I might want to do. And he was like, no, there's no way I am going to allow my sister to come in the military. And I think that is a lot of many young women would face that kind of resistance. What would you say to young women in particular who are interested in joining the military?
Not everybody's experience will be the same. Some people wouldn't want to take the training because most of the people who stop me is the training they're studying, how hard the training is, so not everybody's experience will be the same. Because life has humbled me at an early age.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you think that as a woman in a male-dominated field, how has that impacted your life?
Everybody, we live as one and as one family. The military is love.
I mean, you would have differences with people, but at the end of it all, is you watch my back, I watch yours.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I understand too about being military trained. You see, it helps in understanding regardless of our differences, because you and a man could follow real bad this morning and then only for duty the next day.
Yeah.
And you and he with a Galil now
working together.
You gonna carry on the argument? You can't do that. You understand? Because now we have tools here that we can continue the argument if you want to know. That don't happen. And that's what I love about the military. But Captain Dillon, we could just bring you in a bit here. What inspired you to join the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment? Because and I mean, maybe
from who his dad is.
Yes, his father is a Major General, Edmund Dillon.
So that's a strong motivation right there.
Yeah. What I remember about him, he was a mean last stopper as well in football. He loved football, and we started in Tobago together with him. So what inspired you, really?
Well, some might say it was inevitable to an extent. I grew up around the military basically all my life.
Right.
Yeah, so I know him being in the military. That's all I know. Right? And I think most of his command years when he was like TTR and CDS and that kind of thing, I actually lived abroad. So my sisters actually experienced that command part of his career. I knew him as OC in Charlie Company and his younger years. So I was much more into the company commander and company 2IC years of his career. And like I say, so myself and persons like Major Thompson and all these guys, we grew up with our parents being in the military, and we just know them being soldiers.
Right.
You understand? And it gave me a greater appreciation for the institution, more than probably most. And I'm probably one of the few people who knows a lot of the history of the institution based on the fact that I've been around it literally all my life. Right. So like I said, it was something that was kind of inevitable to an extent. So he was my inspiration, so to speak.
Now, for those out there to understand balancing a family life and military life, because I always tell people, look at the advertisement. They ask for single men and women. That is the first thing they ask for. They won't deny you, but they ask for single, and that's for a reason. But balancing the two, we'll ask Corporal to explain who's, because Corporal, you're married now, right?
Yes, I'm married.
Right. So you'll tell us about that. But Captain, balancing, you saw your dad do it. How were you managing to do it as well?
So it is a difficult thing to do, because, and sometimes especially in the areas that you work at, your spouse has to be very, very understanding at the type of work that you do, because it's not easy to, especially now in this iteration with all of the distractions that we have with all these cell phones and the social media. You tell your wife 2 o'clock in the morning, hey, I have to go and do X. I can't tell you what it is. I can't tell you where you're going. Just know I'm going to do X, and I can't tell you how long it will be. Yeah, and she'll watch you like a crazy person. But like I said, if your spouse is understanding of the nature of the organization and the nature of the work that we have to do, that's a blessing for you, that you would have an understanding spouse. So I do have an understanding spouse, fortunately for me, that she understands that.
Right, and you managing. And you, Natasha, just for Natasha's sake, what's your first name?
Mine? Yes. So it's not Captain, right?
Yes, I know that.
Right, so Cleavon is my first name.
Right. Am I correct in assuming that you are also a national athlete?
Yes.
Yes, I know that.
Yes.
I told God that long jump, right?
Yes.
I remember
know
sitting
that.
in the stadium. Remember we went to sports in the stadium, and your mom and dad were there, and they were cheering you on.
Yes, I
we
know
track and
that.
field for, I want to say, almost 100 years. A very long time, very long time.
I know.
Yes, but you had some. That was an exciting time, and you could see the pride in Major General Dillon sitting there looking at you perform in front of the Nationals for the National Stadium. And so we want to thank you too for representing the country. But Corporal Peters, come back to you. How are you now? Tell us about your life now. You are a mom now, you're married now, and you're not going on the road that you expect. Tell us about that. How is that going?
Well, like, we want to find out, like, what?
So you're not married to a soldier, right?
Yeah.
You married to a soldier? Yeah. Better fit.
Yeah, I think he's actually on the Facebook group.
He's here?
Is it? Hold on, on the chat. Hold on. I think I saw a comment from him.
Morning,
saying,
Trooper.
Morning to his wife. Congratulations, TJ David.
Yeah.
Right? Good morning, sir. So he says, congratulations to you, my wife.
Okay, thanks.
That is so wonderful. But tell us about that now. This journey now you started here, because you have. Tell us about your children.
Well, I'm a mother of 3. I have a 20-year-old, my first daughter. She's 20. I have a 13-year-old and I have a 5-year-old.
How are they doing in school and so on?
My big daughter, she used to go Holy Name Convent. She get 10 passes.
Yeah.
And she's doing business.
Thank you, Jesus.
My alma mater, so I had to pick up Holy HMC.
Wow.
Yeah,
Tamika?
No, you all know when I sit behind this microphone, I often ask questions as to how do we save a younger generation? And then I read the article, like I told you off air, and I'm sitting here this morning and there are so many things looming in my mind. It's understanding the dynamic of a parent, understanding the dynamic of when you enter into that role of stepmother or stepfather. It's understanding the dynamic of so many persons we know who have entered the military and have remained stagnant, and there are so many opportunities for you to grow and blossom inside of there. And then now it's trying to understand why many young persons are not hungry to go in the direction of change. So yes, this may have been my background. However, there is avenues, because it's the Army, it's the Coast Guard, it's the Air Guard, it's the police. There are avenues in which one can take and one can try where that sector or that chapter of your life can just be a stepping stone into something that is totally different, healthy, impactful. And why isn't a generation of persons getting that? That is where I'm at this morning. you know, and it's seeing little children and unaware of the abuse that they may be experiencing in homes and in schools, and knowing that some may be brave enough to be a Mrs. Peters, while some may just fall short by the wayside.
Yeah.
I think, Tamika, I think it is the people that Tammeshar mentioned who intervened, who the principal, whether it's Shima Wilson. Good morning, Shima Wilson, who's on the Facebook chat. Good morning to you. All of the private that you met at CCC, all of these people would have contributed to your success, and your strength and your ability to move forward. Yeah. So in answering your question, I guess it is the kind of intervention that you can make in somebody's life to help them along, because nobody could do that by themselves, right? It takes a village. It literally does. Yeah. So that those people form your village.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have a village now that will help you take care of your own family. Right?
Yes.
Extended family.
Yeah, and your daughter now 10 passes.
Yeah, 10 passes. She knew it.
Wow. I could assume any of them have designs to follow your footsteps?
Yeah, my big daughter said she wanted to, now she's saying she wants to be a lawyer now. Yeah.
So, not the military no more.
She studied training, mommy training, realize, see how you was looking. Because she saw pictures, you know. Yeah.
Well, the good thing the military also has lawyers, so.
Correct, grow.
So there you go.
Do the training and grow inside of there.
Yes. No, but Captain, you have seen youngsters come to the military and they're doing well now. Is that a common thing in military life?
Yeah. So a lot of times you would see young persons coming off of the streets, and what I also like to do sometimes, you see people who pass out, and with the advent now of social media, a lot of times they would message the Facebook page, they would interact with the Facebook page, we would see them at career fairs and so on.
Right.
And sometimes when you go back and look at their pictures before they join, so when after they join, you understand, it's remarkable to see that change and that transformation, and that's what the military does. Yeah. When you come in as a civilian, the military transforms you into a soldier, a sailor, an airman, whatever branch of the defense force that you may join, even the police service as well.
Right.
It's a transformation from your civilian self into a militarized person. And to see that transformation sometimes is amazing. From the person that you would see 5-10 years on a Facebook profile page to the very clean-cut, sometimes more strapped individual you see the current profile picture.
Yes. And you know, and we've heard testimonies from parents as well. They will tell you, even from the MyLad program to the military, they will say, you know, my son changed. You know, you just have to beg him to make up the bed. You know, now he's doing it on his own without anybody telling him she washed it well. They're doing everything.
Sir, yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. You know, it's really a transformation, and we really happy that we've seen this year. We are part of this history here this morning. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and just a feel-good story we wanted to share with you this morning of the life of Corporal Tammeshar Peters. We thank the Chief of Defense Staff and CO TTR for allowing this to happen this morning, and we hope you out there are motivated by what you heard this morning. We really do, because if Tammeshar can overcome, and as the captain said, that we just scratched the surface here, basically, of what she really been through. Do you plan to write a book at some point, Corporal? I think you should.
Maybe not. Maybe.
I think
it's
you should.
It's too much a pain to go back there.
I know, but it'll be a bestseller. Think about that part.
It's too much a pain.
Think about that part. Maybe when you retire and you have the time to do it, you know. But for the military now, in terms of advancement and all of that, what are your dreams, your hopes and dreams as a soldier now?
Well, and the military, my next advancement is to sergeant.
Okay.
Yes, but I want to be just kind of step my foot inside of their mess.
You want to be in a mess?
Yeah. Step my foot inside of there.
Yeah.
But I right there, God's will are there.
Mm-hmm. I agree. You know, and for some of us, just wave the flag for us. That's all I'm asking you to do. You know, as I say to other soldiers who I know are part of the team, I tell them, you know, we had our chance and some of us didn't make full use of it. I'm begging you all to make use of it. Mm-hmm. Please, don't. This uniform is precious. It's important. Don't take it for granted. Love what you do, and it's not work. You know, Captain Dillon, you had the department that you're in. Could you tell the public about that department?
Well, one of the departments I run, the Public Affairs Department for the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. So we deal with all aspects of the media,
right.
Both our internal and external stakeholders. So we do things for the regiment and as well as outside of the regiment as well. So for me particularly, any media house or anything that needs any semblance of answers, queries, all the press releases that you see coming out come from my department.
Okay. Okay. And want to thank you too for your service. Those of you on Facebook and YouTube, I know if you're having problem on Facebook, please, you know, you could find the YouTube channel. Natasha, we have some graphic before. We're going to take some calls for the personnel we have in studio here. But first, we have some graphics, Natasha, that you wanted to, before we go to a break.
I had pulled some quotes from the article, and maybe we could share them with the audience as we take calls.
For those of you who are just joining us, you're listening to Our Dependency, and in studio we have Captain Dillon and Corporal Tammeshar Peters, and it's Captain Cleveland Dillon. and before we, Shortman, before we take your calls though, and before we go to that other break, you could put up the graphic A, please, for us, and. Corporal Peters, talk to young ladies out there now. Pour your heart out to them, let them know who's listening, and to the mothers who, with this experience you've had, tell us. Talk to them.
To all the young ladies who are out there, and not just young ladies, to all the male, everyone, I just want you all to know that giving up is not an option. You have to keep pushing. It must finish. Keep that in mind. We all go through certain things in life, but it always have a period of time everything must finish. Keep hope. And you have to push too as well. Don't just sit down here and say, no, I go get you here, I go get you so. No, you can't sit down. You have to get up. Get up and get it. Don't do wrong things, you know, but you have to get up and get it. Don't sit down. And to all the people who going through stuff out there like why went you, just keep hope and keep pushing and keep prayer up. And think about joining the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment.
Still, well, if only will allow me to come in with my hair, then you know, I can do it. Well, I'm not doing that.
Yes, so those of you on YouTube, thank you very much. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. A lot of you are here this morning, and I expected that. A good turnout to listen to Corporal Peters. I know the Facebook page giving some challenges as usual, but don't worry, we'll get through this. So, shall I go to image A, please? And this is just some of the things that. So those of you, it's just a snapshot. Oh, there's Corporal Peters in her regimental gear. Well, she's dressed the same way this morning, and proudly displaying, you know, what life is all about. This is a comeback story here, folks. This is there's no better example right now than someone who actually, as David Rudder said in his calypso, out of a muddy pond, 10,000 flowers bloom. And this is one of the flowers who bloomed from that muddy pond, so to speak. And she's here to tell you this morning that nothing is impossible. And it is. Nothing is impossible. She has achieved it. And this is her displaying, in the uniform of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. So we go to graphic.
Before we go to the next one, let me read it for those listening on radio who are not able to read. So this is an excerpt from the Sunday Express article on 14 September 2024. Growing up was hard, not so much because it was the Beetham, which people stigmatize as the ghetto, but because we had a very hard childhood, says Peters, who was the sixth of 8 children in a single-parent household. Peters and her siblings grew up in a harsh living environment where drug use was prevalent. Her mother and stepfather were both addicted to drugs, and she and her siblings were subjected to physical and psychological abuse. I remember walking the streets to beg for food, most times barefoot, as we typically had nothing available to eat on a daily basis, she recalls. So that is the first segment or first part of her life that she spoke about when we opened this morning. If you go to the next one, short man.
There's image B.
Image B. And again, I use the same photo throughout because she really does cut a good figure in this kit. She likes this photo very much.
I took the photo by myself.
Nice,
so the photographer wants his credit too. Yeah, man, well done. So this next image, again, another excerpt from the article. She says, given my circumstances growing up, I never saw myself accomplishing many things, she said. However, seeing how the soldiers operated, seeing their compassion towards us and their willingness to assist us, in addition to their renowned serious demeanor and constant encouragement, I felt as if they saw something in me that I couldn't at the time. When I was old enough to enlist, I answered that call to national duty that was implanted in me by the soldiers at CCC, and I'm grateful to them to this day for believing in me, says Peters. And the final one, and thank you, Pearl, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. I like that quote.
Go to the other image, short man.
Third one, and then we could open the lines for your phone calls.
So if you're just joining us, remember that to get the start of the program, after we sign off, you can go back to our YouTube channel or Facebook page and get the full story of Corporal Peters. But she's up on screen here now with some excerpts from the interview that she did. Natasha?
Yes, so the final excerpt, again from the Sunday Express on the 14th of September 2024. Peters has since achieved many goals she set for herself. She's a proud homeowner, a wife and mother. Her children are all doing well in school. Her eldest daughter graduated from secondary school, HNC by the way, with 10 passes and is now enrolled at the University of the West Indies. I look forward in the coming year or so to the next stage of my military career, which would involve becoming a senior non-commissioned officer and moving from the rank of corporal to sergeant, she adds. And she just mentioned that. So sergeant is the goal.
That is the place.
Yes, and of course to your husband, thank you, Solia, too, for your service to country and keeping Corporal Peters safe and sound. It's wonderful. It's and to have a mother and father in the military, your children need to have some understanding of this at some point, right? Because
it's hard for them, though.
I know. I could just imagine, but
wait.
But that's cool, Morning to Valerie, Marva, Jasmine, Joan, Janice, and all of you, Brian and on YouTube family, thank you very much. Facebook family, thank you so much. And of course, those of you listening on I-95.5 FM. We're going to take a break, and when we return, we're going to take some calls from you, and keep on. The Trinidad and Tobago Regiment has been there for us, and they continue to be. Let's give them some love this morning. When we return, you're listening to Dependency. We'll be back.
Yes, girl. Online here with this weirdo named Larry. I'm getting rid of him now. Let's take a selfie. It looking good, boy. I'm putting it online.
Hey, I thought you say you went to the beach with your parents.
Who's you?
It's me, Larry, from online.
Hello. Hi, this is Patricia Kent from HMP London. Can I speak to Miss Sheila, please? This is Miss Sheila. Hi, I've got an important call for you. Please hold the line.
Mommy, it's Sherry.
Oh, God, Sherry, we looking for you all the time. 3 weeks now. Where you going?
Mommy, I called in to tell you I get locked up. I had drugs in my luggage and I'm in England right now. In jail.
Oh, God, Sherry, what? What you do? How you reach there? Oh, God, how we gonna do?
Oh, God, Mommy, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It'll be all right. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Eye on Dependency. Reality radio at its best every Sunday on I-95.5 FM. Don't miss it.
Hi, I'm Kathy, and I'm an active alumni and volunteer at the Toronto Drug Treatment Court. You're listening to Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha, Trinidad and Tobago. Drug Treatment Court's work.
You didn't have it easy. Thank you for staying with us, folks. And we before we do, let's do the 2 minute for the children listening.
Yes.
Tell Shortman which one we're going with first. This is part of our mandate, folks, so bear with us. A 2 minute feature before we take some calls.
Yep.
So tell them which one.
D.
It may seem common for young people to experiment with different substances, like vaping, weed, tobacco, Molly, and alcohol. Some may even consider hard drugs such as cocaine, meth, or opioids like heroin. Regardless of the substance, if it's not prescribed by a doctor and taken as prescribed, experimenting with substances can have negative effects. Meet Jeremiah. Jeremiah hangs out with his friends on the weekends. They drink alcohol and occasionally smoke marijuana to relax and get away from the stresses of life and school. One time at a party, Jeremiah smoked something a girl handed to him, not knowing what it was. Later, he found out that it was K2, a synthetic type of weed. His friends told him that he was hilarious and started acting crazy, and that they couldn't wait to party with him again. Jeremiah was concerned because he has no memory of what happened. He wants to be with his friends and have a good time, but he hated not remembering and doesn't want to take another substance like that again. He also feels new pressure to be the life of the party and act a certain way. What happened to Jeremiah is all too common. You start out taking one substance and end up taking something else. A danger in using any substance that isn't prescribed to you is not knowing exactly what it is you're taking and how it will impact you. Unfortunately, young people are being exposed to substances that can have dangerous physical and mental health consequences. As a good rule of thumb, if a drug isn't prescribed to you, you shouldn't take it. Pretty quickly, what feels like casual or experimental substance use can turn into a substance use problem, which has long-lasting and negative consequences. Before you decide to use a substance, know the risks and potential consequences, or reach out to a counselor to talk about it.
Right, so that was a short video about teenage drug use and abuse, and this is just one of many scenarios that young people can get caught up with drug use and end up becoming either dependent or addicted. And, we continue to send that message to parents to be aware of who your child is liming with, where they go in, who their parents are, what they're exposed to. Although in many instances as well, they're exposed to drugs in their home, as Tammeshar was. And Tammeshar could have been one of those children who, and we heard this story from Beverly Morsangard, who was addicted to crack cocaine, and one day she saw her daughter pick up a pipe and start to try to use, and that happens as well when you have children in an environment where drugs are being used. So we just wanted to share that message again so that parents and young people themselves can be vigilant and stay away from these harmful drugs.
Miracle too that you didn't even try to get use drugs or anything and go down that road. That is so important.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, you're very late, but you're listening to our Dependency, and we have in studio with us Captain Dillon and Corporal Peters, both of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. Corporal Peters came here this morning, to tell her story so that it can motivate you. Jackie said you should bottle that strength. I agree. Old soldier listening said, "Good morning, God. I'm like Captain Dillon. I was at Camp Ogden while Corporal Peters was posted there, and I didn't know her story. Her life is a working success. But love is born from the more we sweat in peacetime, the less we bleed in war." And you have we're gonna take one more to go to the other video, and then we start taking your calls, all right?
Take calls. Right. So this second video is again on the same issue of young people, especially, and drugs and alcohol, but it's a news item focusing on some research that was done in the States about how young people use substances to relieve stress. We wouldn't think that young people under stress, but they are, and some of them have access to drugs to cope. So let's go to that video.
Teenagers seeking help for substance abuse treatment say they most often turn to drugs and alcohol to de-stress, according to new research published today by the CDC.
The results looked at young people between 13 and 18, and the findings follow reports of rampant anxiety and depression in that age group as well. NBC News medical reporter Erica Edwards has been digging into this for us. Erica, it sort of seems on its face like this generation is self-medicating. Am I reading that right?
That's exactly what the experts are saying, Kate. The vast majority of teens surveyed here, nearly 3/4, said that they were using drugs and alcohol to chill out, basically, to become more relaxed. But I really want to point out that 44% used so they could sleep better and stop worrying or forget bad memories. And 40% said that they thought it would help with their depression or anxiety. Now, most of the time they were using some form of marijuana. Almost half reported drinking alcohol, and about 20% said that they had used over-the-counter drugs like cough syrup or prescription strength pain relievers or sedatives. Kate, Sinclair?
And Erica, briefly, it seems that the substance abuse is not happening in a silo. An expert you spoke with said that 75% of young people with a substance use disorder also have a mental health condition. So what do those results tell us about interventions needed?
Yeah, that's right. Experts say that substance abuse generally goes hand in hand with mental health problems. And here's really the takeaway for parents. If a child says, gosh, I'm using drugs or whatever to combat my anxiety, even if you don't think that they're using that much, maybe it was just a one-time thing, experts say that's actually a big red warning sign to get that child help early.
And just quickly, one more question for you. They talked about where and when in this report young people are using drugs. What did they find?
Half of these kids said that they were using alone, often in their bedrooms, using opioid pain relievers. And that's really the scary part of this, because that's when deadly overdoses occur, because no one is there to call 911 or administer Narcan. The supply that kids are getting on the street or even from their friends is often counterfeit and laced with dangerous and powerful drugs. Kate,
I'm going to say it again. Do not take a pill if you don't know where it came from. Don't do it. It's too dangerous. Erica, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
So that news item was from 2023, I believe, and again, these are not just concerns for Americans. They are concerns for us right here in Trinidad and Tobago, because there are a lot of young people who are not only facing mental health challenges, and we just commemorated World Mental Health Day on the 10th of October, but we know that mental ill health does impact on persons who are prone to addiction. And they work hand in hand. There is a Center for Addiction and Mental Health in Toronto, Canada, which we visited. So there's a strong link between both disorders. And, you know, we want Trinidad and Tobago to understand the ramifications. A lot of people who are using drugs, it's because of the fact that they have a mental health issue. And young people are especially vulnerable to that kind of slipping down that slippery slope, I should say.
So we take your calls now, 622-3937, and we have our first caller. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Right, hi. Yes, we have a special lady here who's going to open the bowling for us here this morning. Identify yourself, please, ma'am.
Hi, good morning, God. Good morning, Natasha. Yes. And of course, good morning to Captain Dillon. Remember, I remember to say that. And of course, to my doodoo darling, well, I have to say it, Corporal Tammeshar Peters.
Yes.
Yes, good morning. All to your listeners at I-95.5 this morning. I am, of course, Shoma Wilson of Vitam Gardens. Right. Yeah.
Shoma, we just wanted to reach out to you this morning to say thank you very much for looking out for Corporal Peters. You know her as a little girl back then.
Yeah, that was my duty. Yeah, that's when duty calls. Yeah, the village takes to raise the child. Yeah, I was part of that village, so yeah, I was duty bound. Yeah,
how do you
saw my role as duty bound.
Oh, what did you think of little Tammeshar when you first saw her and interacted with her? What were your thoughts about this child?
Okay, I remember at the time I was when I was still living at my mom and 10th Street, I used to be there frequently. And because I eventually moved higher up after I started my family. So being by my mom, and I think my brother had a business at home as well, so I was working for my brother at home. I would normally see these young boys coming down the street from, if you know the beat, 5 phases, and they're all interconnected. So like it's one long strip of road. So children will leave from one phase seamlessly and go into another phase. So it was a normal thing to see children walking, coming up or down, either which way. And I would notice this group of young boys going their way, doing nothing illegal. What do children do? Kicking ball, looking for a tree, probably to pelt mango or something. But I noticed one day I looked good. I said, but that's a little girl with them. But she blended in with them because, and I don't know, I never get the opportunity to ask Tammeshar this. If it was by choice or chance that we knew her as what we would call or label a tomboy, because she was never in a dress. We had never seen Tammeshar in a dress. So I don't know if it's because of hardship and it's what she had to put on, which was this big T-shirt, oversized T-shirt most of the time, and a jeans. Sometimes a rubber slippers, sometimes no slippers. And she's going her merry way with these group of boys. So I don't know if it is that she finds solace with these boys, that she was able to move away from home, go and do some of the activities that boys they engage in and going up and down, up and down. So to me, after, finding out exactly what was happening to me, it was like an escape route for her. And she developed the name earlier, Tom. And many, many, many persons today still call her Tom. So looking at this, Tom.
Tom. Okay.
Yes, before we refer to her as the tomboy. Yes.
All right.
Yes. So we thought Tamisha as that this tomboy. So it was amazing when once she got pregnant, because somehow you tell yourself, well, how can she get out of this tomboy character that she founded herself in? Yeah, how did she got out of that today? She's married, she has children, you know that? So that was the first image I had of Tom, and then after realizing, well, how it is that she's with these boys? What would lead her to this? And then of course I started talking to her and found out that, well, and she didn't go into the details. She didn't go into details of her trauma, really. She just talked about having no food to eat and that kind of thing. And then you would pick up certain things. And that is what really led me to Tamisha to recognize that if I can reach out in some way to help her, at least get a meal.
Yes.
You know, at least get a meal. So it started off there.
Well, she definitely was coming to you from that first meal. She was like, this lady Sweetan is blessed. So I'm going by her right through.
Well, I didn't listen to the program from the beginning, and somebody called me, a doctor who was listening, she called me, and she said, oh, so you have a Sweetan?
Yes.
Only to realize Tamisha was boasting about my Sweetan.
She was.
Yes. So
Shima?
Tamisha's story is really an amazing one. And I don't know if she mentioned to you that she's a businesswoman today as well. So she's juggling both her job at the military, and she has opened a nice little sweet shop, right? That could, here in a man, it could get richer than anybody competition. So some of the best mud slides and some of the best those nice milky, creamy caramel drinks and what have you. Yeah. She's doing wonderful in that department. Yeah, she's doing wonderful.
Well,
So,
Shima, we want to thank you so much because you were part of that, knitting that together.
Yes.
And we thank you so much for looking out for her. And
anytime.
I know you're proud, and as like I said, when you posted that picture for Independence, I said no, I had to get this lady, this corporal, to come on this program.
And you know, God, what led me to post that picture is because when I look at the comments on another post that said that the picture was posted, some people started to talk about a tattoo that they noticed on her leg. And for most persons, of course, most people, we know that, okay, tattoo is something that is probably prohibited in the military, right? But to me, they were just focusing on this little piece of, you know, let me see if you want to call it negative or what have you. And I said to me, this is so unfair to this young lady. I said, because no one knows, you know, what she had to endure as a child, and then to even to get into the army and then to reach where she has reached and accomplish so much. So she's to the rank of corporal now, but that requires a lot of discipline, hard work. You don't get that just like that. You understand? So I thought, you know what, this was an unfair thing I'm seeing happening to Tamisha, and she doesn't deserve it at all. So just let me, you know, put my 2 cents in and repost the picture and tell them, hey, tattoo nothing, forget that. Forget that. This woman here, hey, we'll walk in her shoes and let's, you know, give her that love and applaud her for how she got there and how she arrived there. And just by ending, let me also say, and I don't know if it was Tamisha entering the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment service. We also have some other military women on the baton.
Okay.
Tamisha might help me with their full names. We have Jenna Jacobs, who both her and her sister, after their mother died, they joined the Coast Guard. So we have 2 sailors coming out of the term. Unfortunately, one of the siblings died, and Jenna Jacobs is still a seaman or woman today. We also have Rhea Brown. Maria. What is Rhea surname?
Rhea Brown.
Rhea Brown, what is her position in the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment today?
She's a sergeant.
Yes, so we have another sergeant born, bred, and living on the beach. And if I go lower down, Tammeshar remember Rosemary. She went to CCC.
CCC, yeah.
And she ended up being a seaman as well. She was successful and became a seaman as well.
Yeah.
And Kat, you will of course remember this guy higher up.
Anderson.
Anderson.
Yeah, Lizama.
Anderson. So right there you see, right? You understand? And I mean, it's when we have a stigmatization and a stereotyping of people and a community, it casts this cloud of darkness when there is so many lights, like Tammeshar, shining, pushing, and coming through. But we'll continue doing that. We'll continue shining and pushing through at Bitam God.
Sure, man.
So thank you all so much for having Tammeshar on. And
Yes,
of course,
it's our pleasure.
Yeah.
Our
And
pleasure.
thanks as well to Captain Dillon for allowing this interview to take place. Yeah.
You're not going to forget his first name now.
No, never know. And let me say hi to his dad as well.
All right, sure, man. Thank you.
Okay.
Take
All
care,
right.
sure.
Thanks so much. Great program.
All right,
for
thanks a lot.
calling.
I say
Just
good.
leave it as captain.
I know.
Let's leave it at captain. I tell you, first name is captain. So, good morning to Major General Captain Dillon and family. God bless you all too. I haven't seen you in a while, but hope all is well. Let's take some calls. 6223937. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. I want to thank you, Garth and Natasha, and Gil, for highlighting another comeback story. And, it really tells, in a time in this country where there's so much of persons that the media, and as the last caller would have said, highlighting so much of the darkness, that sometimes it's really important to hit on success stories of persons who would have gone on that road to tell people, listen, you don't have to become a statistic in that direction, be a statistic in the other direction. I didn't hear the whole thing, but CCC would have played a important role in Corporal Peters' life.
Well, personnel at CCC, they encourage
personnel, right?
Yes.
And CCC and the regiment and like the last caller would have played in her life and the community. I want to encourage us also to talk to folks who CCC would have not been enough for them. That maybe something the school would not be enough, or some part of the community was not enough. What it is that they see, and it's difficult sometimes to get that kind of feedback. And sometimes I think you all bring in people from the prison and things, because sometimes we feel some people sometimes, I want to find out from them. And I think Corporal Peters could be somebody who could reach to them and find out from them, where we could have reach out to you, where we have failed, so that we can fill up some of those cracks, because the system not perfect. CCC could attest to people that passed through and didn't succeed. Something would have gone wrong. So I want to encourage us also to talk to those people as well more and find out, listen, where we could help, where we fail in here sometimes,
Yeah,
so
good
thank you
idea.
again for highlighting this.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
6223937. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for taking my call, although I'm a bit angry, but thanks for taking my call anyway. Listen, I am calling here as a normal, average, independent, public citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Generally, I'd like to find out, I listened to the lady's history, and it's definitely worth, the efforts to help individuals. But my broad question is, what does the Army do for Trinidad on a daily basis?
All right. Thank you very much for calling, sir.
Now is not the time for that.
No, it's not the time
question,
for that. We didn't come here to examine the Army. We if you all listening to the broadcast from the beginning, we highlighted a story, a comeback story, and an inspirational story. This is not about the regiment this morning. It's personnel in the regiment who made it through the rain. That's what we're dealing with this morning. But thank you very much for your call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gat and Natasha, Timika, Corporal Peters, and Captain Dillon. I'm calling from Toronto, Canada. Listen, good program. I had to thank Shoma. I know Shoma Wilson on the radio, and I know she's on the ground through that term and whatnot. Good job, Shoma. If I had an award to give to you, I'll give you the Trinity Cross. Captain Natasha, you too. Captain Natasha, you too, and Tamika. You guys doing a good program. Well, my family was, in the military Trinidad and Tobago, Hamlet. However, this question is to Captain Dillon. Captain Dillon, when you were like a young boy, I know with my uncle and them, when they used to, they call you to talk to you. You had to put your hand by your side to talk to them. Captain Dillon, your dad, Mr. Major General Dillon, always tell you that when you're talking to me, put your hand by your side.
It wasn't that bad.
Oh boy, well, I had to say, I don't know if they're listening right now to my colleagues and them who in 80 camp. I was in youth camp, Shagamasu camp, and I went to inductory training with when I was in Coquico with Lance Corporal Dickie Adams and Private Oclos Graham. And I'll tell you something. You see that dormitory? I will tell you guys, this is a dormitory when they teach you how to make a bed and they go from one corner to look to the other corner. They want to see the blanket or the sheet, wherever they design, all supposed to be one straight line. And I will tell you this, I learned a lot from there. I know I need to make up my bed at home. Sorry to tell you, but I didn't do it. But I learned how to make up my bed and wash all my clothes and things in the youth camp, thanks to these men who come and instill that, reinforce that thing into me. Right? And I will also thank God that a lot of my friends of them join the military and they end up being high-ranking officers in the army and police and stuff. So guys, continue doing what you do, Corporal Peters. Thank you for entering the military. I know you know, and you say your goal is to be a sergeant. You'll get there, ma'am. You'll get there. Thank you very much for serving the country, Captain Dillon. You too. And Captain Natasha and the speaker, I looked on listening. Blessings to you guys.
All right, caller. Thank you very much. 622-397. Good morning. Hello, morning.
Morning, Mr. Sinclair. Morning to the two soldiers, Mrs. Peters. I must say morning to Shim Wilson and the Wilson family. I now identify who the young lady is, right? And you know, your story is very, very, very touching. Shoma played a very integral part. Shoma Wilson is a Trojan. She played a very integral part in her first daughter's life, as Miss Peters said, right? And she said Shoma is the one with the sweet hand. Shoma know the one with the sweet hand, and Tasha know the one with the sweet hand is in St. James up under. That's the older brother. Right? And I now picture who she is. That's the one with the sweet hand. So that's the one with the sweet hand. The one in St. James. Yeah, that's right. Shoma will take second place. The big brother will take first place.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. She will confess to that too. Oh, and okay. Tasha knows that too. Right? Tasha knows that too. So, girl, as I say, everybody had struggles. It's actually really 20 years when I check exactly when I lost my sight. So I remember the sister. You know, and I'm going to say morning to the Wilson family. You know what I mean? I can't forget the Wilson family. And I'm going to say morning to Sharkhead. I know your boy Sharkhead listening, Tasha. So I'm going to say morning to him and to the whole Wilson family and Shulma is really a treasure. Girl, you stay strong and you keep pushing. As I always tell people, JT says now where you're from is where you're at. Right? So there's where you're at now and you just have to push further and your children doing well. And give thanks to that. And I'm glad that you remember the role that Shoma played and she continues to play in your life and your children's life. And I'm going to say morning again to Shaki.
Thank you very much, caller. 622-3937. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
God, Natasha.
Morning.
Captain Dillon. Miss Peters.
Good morning.
Corporal Peters, as I say. That was saying, sometimes a setback is a setup for a comeback. You know? I am a retired police officer, God. I spent many years at Bessel Shoot. And any kind of good thing coming out of Vietnam needs to be highlighted. I heard Corporal Peters talk about the pension quotas. I remember a detective at SSU there. And they had some young boys used to go and sexually assault the pensioners there. Yeah? So, something good like that coming out from the Vietnam, I think it's worth highlighting. And Gat and Natasha, continue doing a good work. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before we go to the next call, I want to share too what another unit is doing, that they do it very quietly, but they're doing their work, which is the counter-trafficking unit. And in a release from the Ministry of National Security, a swift collaboration and coordination, the counter-trafficking unit, the Ministry of National Security and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service conducted an operation leading to the identification of potential victims of trafficking at a spa located at Sunrise Crescent, Welcome Road, Cunupia, on Tuesday, 8 October 2024. Upon receiving a call from officers of the Cunupia Police Station, the CTU promptly dispatched authorized officers to screen 11 Venezuelan women found on the premises. The screening, conducted by WPC Pascal Joseph, PC Moore, and WPC Suku, took place from 7 p.m. until 12:15 a.m. the following day. Out of the 11 women, 2 were identified as potential victims of trafficking, displaying clear indicators of human trafficking. The remaining of 9 women were left in the custody of the Cunupia Police Station to be processed further by Immigration Division enforcement officers. The operation also led to the identification of 3 suspects, 2 males and 1 female, all Trinidad and Tobago nationals, with investigation continuing. As usual, the CTU continues to work alongside law enforcement to combat the issues of human trafficking, ensuring that victims receive care and protection they need while pursuing justice against traffickers. The Ministry of National Security reminds citizens that trafficking in persons is a grave violation of human rights, and assistance from the public plays a critical role in combating this crime. Anyone with information on suspected human trafficking activities is urged to contact Counter-Trafficking Unit Hotline 800-4CTU or 800-4288. Your vigilance can help save lives. Speak up against human trafficking. 6223937. We take our final set of calls for Captain Dillon and Corporal Peters here in studio with us. We thank them once again for their time. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you and to the 2 soldiers there. You have done a very good job. But Mr. Natasha and yourself, I would like to give you the Trinity Cross because you have done a very good job coming out here every Sunday and letting us know what's taking place in the community and the people that pass through certain things in life. And for the soldier lady, for the young lady there, that come from there, say, them areas are depressed. I didn't know how depressed it is. I know that I pass through there and I know you're depressed. But once you make up your mind to put yourself out for something, God will help you to get through it. And I'm proud of you, young lady. Keep up the good work. And to the soldier next door, keep pushing her and God will reach up your arms. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency. We have Captain Dillon and Corporal Peters in studio with us. And Corporal Peters just give us a tidbit of her life, which was very, very, very rough for her, but she overcame, and she's now a full corporal in the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Yeah. Captain Natasha.
Good morning.
Nice program. I like what the lady say, man. Don't give up. And that's why I do it. Me, I give up. Thank you. Bless you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for calling. Where are the ladies this morning, though? Hello, good morning. Hello. 6223937. So, Corporal, any final parting words for you, for your friends, family out there, well wishers?
Yeah. My final word here is don't give up. No matter what you're going through, always remember better is coming. It's always wrong. No matter the odds you're going through, keep going. Keep pushing. Never give up. Never give up. Keep that in mind.
Captain Dillon?
So again, thanks for having us here on the program. And one thing I like to say for people who are thinking about joining the military is not just a job. It's not a 9 to 5. You'll find it very difficult in the military if you approach it as a 9 to 5 job. Yes. The military is a lifestyle, is a mindset. And if you challenge yourself to embrace that lifestyle, that mindset, you'll find the military a very fulfilling and rewarding career.
As you say, it's a way of life, and not just a work.
Indeed,
yes, it's not a work, because, you know, I've had to explain that to people too. You know, I see my husband in 2 days, and I say, but you didn't tell him what he signed up for. So you're supposed to know that, and don't go by the people camp. You agree? Should I go by? I say, no, you can't do that. You go by the camp and ask him. You still ain't gonna find out nothing. So understand, this is the nature of the beast. And is that, you know, and to the caller just now, who you sound like a very senior person. And if by now you don't know what the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment, then you need to Google. At least you need to do some research on your regiment, because they have done a lot for Trinidad and Tobago, my friend. Trust me.
Not. I mean, I think the myth that, you know, is just a shining boots parade down at Tetron, I think that has long been debunked, you know.
Long time.
I
So,
mean,
you know, you got a
so
old man calling to
I
ask
why
that.
these perceptions still persist.
6223937. Good morning. Hello, good morning. 6223937. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I want to tell that young lady from Mr. Popo and his family, be proud of you. We hope you stay strong and complete what you're doing. And Mr. Gart and Mr. Tasha and Tamika and the captain, always stay doing all your good work. All right?
All right, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning to you guys.
Hey, how are you doing, Anna?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, Natasha, Tamika, and to the two esteemed officers in studio. God's blessings to you all. That I am here, I was following it from Facebook, right? And I am wishing Corporal Peters all the best in her military career and life, to her and her family, to the Beetham Estate, Ms. Schumer Wilson, all the people, Ms. Officer Peters, that played that, even that senior officer there at your side. You all are doing well. We love you. Trinidad and Tobago loves you, and I just wish you all the best. Thank you all so much for listening.
Thank you for your continued support, my dear. 6223937. Good morning.
Good morning to you, God.
Hello.
Natasha.
How are you?
Morning.
I'm fine, thank you, guys.
Nice.
And to Mrs. Peters and to Captain Dillon. When I listen to that lady's testimony, it tells you a young woman of true grit and determination and resilience with all the beatings. And you see that will to live and survive and to tell the story today was embedded in her. And as Natasha said, along with prayers and with people, you know, lifting her up, her teachers and so on. What an example of true grit and determination, regardless of what. And you know, there's an old saying too, where there's a will, there will be a way. So my dear lady, keep on keeping on. Blessings to you and your family. And look at how you have passed on good characteristics to your daughter. She has excelled in academics. And I am sure the others will also excel. You know, your true grit and determination. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Thank you for those words of inspiration. Nice, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. You know, as we come to the end of this program today, folks, we are, well, you all know I bias. You know where my heart is.
Yes.
I thank you all so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us this morning. We thank Chief of Defence Staff, Air Vice Marshal Daryl Daniel, and COTTR, Colonel Keston Charles, and the men and women of the Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force Regiment by extension for continuing to produce good citizens. Nobody's perfect, no institution is perfect, but we are happy that we have soldiers, we have members of the Defence Force who, while we sleeping, could watch our back. And we thank you all for that. God bless you all. Continued service to Trinidad and Tobago. Well done. Couldn't be more proud of you all. And like I said, we hope that we could have another Major General Dillon in the Defence Force soon.
Or maybe even in some years to come, the first woman Chief of Defence Staff. You never know.
Yeah, you never know, I mean, a lot of things have happened,
Exactly.
Even Tamika might be able to join.
I live to see that. I hope I live to see that.
No, but it's good, and again, we would like to encourage, when is recruiting again, sir,
So recruiting is not really on a set standard, it's more based on the needs of the force at the time.
Right.
So, and I think now recruiting actually goes through the Defence Force headquarters.
Okay.
So it's much more of a generalized recruiting as opposed to the past where you had regiment doing recruiting, Coast Guard doing recruiting, Air Guard doing recruiting. It's done now at the Defence Force headquarters level.
Right.
So it's based on the needs of the force. There's not a very set timetable as to recruiting is going to happen this day.
Okay.
Yeah, so all people need to do is look out on the Facebook and Instagram pages of the Defence Force headquarters, as well as all the formations, the Coast Guard, the Air Guard, and the regiment, and you'll see the ads published and what all the exact requirements will be.
Okay. Corporal Peters, you heard the love, you saw the love, and we felt the love, right?
I appreciate all the love.
Yes, and we have nothing but love for you all. So congratulations once again, sister. Continue the climb, and as soon as you get in the mess, we're going and write one time. As soon as we have a Sergeant Peters on the ground, we'd like to have you back in studio with Major Dillon.
Okay, no problem.
Right?
Yes,
that'll be nice, eh?
Yes,
I'm looking forward to that. So, folks, thank you very much, Natasha.
Yeah, man, I again appreciate the time and the effort, and I wish you all the best in your career. As a woman, you're carrying the torch for all of us, and because we all want to excel, especially in male-dominated fields like the military. So all the best to you. And again, on another note, I would like to appeal to persons to be that person, that intervention in someone's life. You never know what your assistance and your guidance will do for somebody.
Yes.
Be that person.
Thank you so much. Major news up next with Mr. Sterling Henderson. Have a great day, folks. Take care.
Broadcasting from Port of Spain, Trinidad, this is the most